Do you remember, Rook, when I mentioned another ceremony I must perform at the Memorial Gardens? The time has come. I was hoping you would accompany me again.
More grave lighting?
No, this would be a more personal visit, whenever you've time.
Hey, Rook. I was planning to take Hassan to the woods in Arlington soon. Want to keep us company?
Sounds good to me.
Hassan will be glad to hear it. Needs to stretch his wings.
This smells amazing. Does all coffee smell like this? Or just the stuff you make?
Coffee has a distinct aroma, if that's what you're asking.
Sorry. It was really rare where I grew up. And expensive.
Try everything once, that's what I say.
I want to, but sometimes I just like having what I like.
Nothing wrong with that. So, Harding, what do you think?
It's... delicious.
She hates it.
No, I don't hate it. It's really nice. Temperature.
I won't be upset if you don't like coffee.
He really wouldn't.
I know, but, sorry. It's just this thing I do sometimes.
Acting so people will like you?
It sounds terrible when you say it like that. I know I don't need to do it. I just do.
Well, everyone you know seems to like you, so you're good.
Good job, Lace.
You must have been pretty tiny as a child.
Where'd that come from?
A tiny dwarven girl in a land of large human farmers.
Oh, yeah. I probably learned pretty quick that things worked out better if people liked me. If they agreed with me, or I agreed with them.
Some people like cream or sugar in their coffee.
Maybe coffee just isn't my thing.
I've heard another landscape has been added to your collection.
It grows.
I see we've company.
Careful left!
A fine hit, Rook! Trouble over there. Masterfully done, Rook.
Everything's calm. Looks like the candles worked.
I see some of my colleagues have begun the renewal of the vows.
There was a possessed dragon, and I missed it.
Now, what do you have to say for yourself?
Did I miss something?
Since we're here to gather flowers for the dead, I thought I'd teach Manfred some plant names. But I just caught him attempting to wade into a rose bush.
That must have been frustrating.
He knows he's not supposed to play in the horticulture. Oh, Manfred. Whatever will happen to you if I pass on?
If?
There's something I'd like to talk about. Do you know what a lich is, Rook?
Doesn't ring a bell.
A lich is a mage transformed into one of the undead while retaining their true, original consciousness. The idea fascinated me when I was younger. For years, I researched and experimented, spoke with spirits and mages. Then, eventually, I found them.
Who?
The Lich Lords of the Grand Necropolis. Necromancers before me who'd transformed themselves into true living dead.
Not everyone gets to meet their idols.
Oh, but I was nervous. The Liches are the great protectors of the necropolis, bulwarks against forces that threaten creation. After years of tests and rituals, they granted me my desire, the right to attempt lichdom.
If that's what you want.
I'd anticipated more surprise.
Emmerich, you live in a haunted necropolis.
Lichdom is an incredible honor. Immortality, prestige, the most hallowed ranks of the Watchers, as well as a chance to be of service past my allotted years. But there are considerations. Come, we have flowers to gather for the dead.
Okay, but I've got questions.
Blue creepvine. This will do nicely.
Emmerich, aren't most undead just random spirits inside corpses?
Liches are different. It wouldn't be a spirit acting in my name. My true consciousness would be housed in my departed flesh.
How?
The Order must keep some secrets. Moon blossoms, famed in verse and song.
Smells like perfume. Do liches have a sense of smell?
I've been told that while some of my senses will dull, others will become available. Other than that, I can't say if the flowers would still hold their bloom for me. Lichdom serves a purpose. There are dark things in creation, threats to both our world and the Fade. The Liches of the Necropolis have the insight and the abilities to oppose them.
And you're joining them when?
Certain elements have held me back. There's no ready instructions for Lichdom. The steps must be discovered on one's own over years to be fully understood.
Does the spell to become a lich kill you, or do you have to...
No, mercifully, that falls to another watcher. After my death, my soul will be drawn back into my body instead of moving on to whatever lies beyond.
So, what's holding you back from lichdom?
Even with all my preparations, there's a chance I could die permanently during the rites. What cowardice! A promise of immortality, an end to all my fears, and the final veil stays my hand.
If you want lichdom that badly, you have to go for it.
I always thought I'd find the courage when I grew older. Traditionally, candidates for lichdom face one final sifting of the soul. If they avoid it, you saw my old colleague.
Hezenkas? She's a lich?
A half-lich, though that hasn't diminished her powers. Until I stop her plans, I won't possess the peace of mind for lichdom. Why don't you select the next flowers, Rook?
Sure. So what's a half-lich exactly?
Johanna attempted the rites of lichdom and failed. Stuck in her in-between state, she is supremely dangerous, but can't learn any new magic.
No wonder Hezenkas was shouting so much.
Oh, she's always been that way.
What about the sifting of a soul that Hezenkas avoided?
The spirits of the necropolis judge whether a candidate is worthy of the power and responsibility of lichdom.
How'd she become a lich without it? For a watcher, Hezenkas is pretty harsh on spirits.
We made allowances because of her discoveries. Too many. Spirits are not things to be disposed of.
You really care about them.
They're so susceptible to the world's whims, Rook. Some spirits are dangerous, but how quickly most respond to a bit of kindness or care, or simple attempt to understand. For all she's done, I can't condemn Johanna for attempting lichdom. That freedom from mortality, that divorce from fear, And of course, time to read all of one's books.
Of course.
But how she's abused her abilities. Are my intentions enough to fare better?
Worrying's a good sign.
We have enough flowers. There's something I'd like to show you. Here we are.
Oh, so these flowers are for...
Yes. If you could place them on the graves, please.
In memory of Rupert and Eleonora Valkarin, they walk eternity hand in hand.
After I became a watcher, I erected a proper shrine to my parents. When I come to talk, I like to think they listen. Well, don't be shy. Introduce yourself.
Rook, it's a pleasure. Do you remember your parents?
Some memories are bright. Others are akin to those dim early morning dreams one gets sometimes. Lately, I wondered what they'd think of our current course, the choices ahead.
Your lichdom?
What would they have wanted me to be?
I can tell you what I think they'd want you to be.
What's that?
Happy. You could always speak with your folks, couldn't you?
My parents last saw me as a boy. By the time I mastered my corpse whispering, I was a man. If I woke them, there might be a flash of recognition, or... Besides, if I speak to too many other spirits, Manfred might grow jealous.
Can't have that.
He'd be impossible, I agree.
With White House gone, it'll only embolden.
Strife, I got a tip there might be trouble here in Arlethan.
You're just in time. We've got a problem.
I was out with a scouting party, and we spotted the Venatori moving into the area.
They're being directed by Elgarnon or Gillinane. They have to be. The Grey Wardens warned us the gods were heading to Arlethan. But why bring the Venatori?
We don't know. That's where you come in.
Well, that sounds like trouble. How can I help?
Nip it in the bud. Don't let them stir up anything worse.
I'll give you the rough location where we sighted them, but you might have to search beyond that.
They want something, and we need to know what they're up to.
I'll find out what it is.
Feel free to take out as many of them as you can. This is our forest.
The forest doesn't seem to be getting any better. Too much evil in the air.
This was the center of a war between Tevinter Magisters and ancient elves. Blood magic everywhere. The Magisters destroyed Arlethan City. That kind of magic leaves an impression.
What happened here?
An attack of some kind.
Let's look around, see what we find. Over there. That could be the haunting spirit Myrna told us about.
The Veil Jumpers talk about a spirit roaming these woods. Since the gods made them hiking, we call them Nocturnix. I heard its sleep was stolen by the gods. So now, it's stealing.
Where have they gone?
Irulan was right. There's the Venatori.
Time to show them some Dalish hospitality.
That's the last of them.
Good. Now what were they doing out here? Looks like they set up a camp. Let's take a look. This is Dalish. And there's a Dalish camp nearby. If the Venatori hit them... Let's go. Now. Body here. Something attacked them. Whatever it was, it went that way.
Hey, Dapperin. If you need to talk, about what you found out, I'm a good listener.
Thanks, but not sure you can help. It's a warden thing.
Well, it's also a your history was a lie thing, and, we're Dalish. Those are our gods out there. I feel like we're qualified.
Right. That's a good point.
Hassan can get the gate.
Another truffle hunt?
No, we're meeting Eldrin, the old elf I told you about. I spent summers here. Tended Hollow when I was a kid.
Hard to imagine the mighty hunter hanging out with deer.
Not everything in the forest should be hunted. Hassan, hang back.